every day. It's mostly just sitting in silence. I know on the schedule it said sit/mini talk/Q&A. So I've got some actually like a couple of minutes maybe. We've had lots of words, and some days maybe if there's things up, it could be more. But so I'm just going to say something very brief, and then we'll just go back into the silence. And that is, especially some of you, those of you who are experienced, you've heard all these instructions and know, but especially if you're newer, or if the way I'm talking about things is new, there can have been a lot, different ways of working with our breathing. I offered a few different things about, like when did it very brief, right? I didn't get in a lot of detail. When other experiences come up, emotions, moods, thoughts, body sensations, different possible ways. I just mentioned it briefly to work with them. Just let go of the breath, be with them, breathe with you, whatever that is for you, different thing. So the practice is meant to be actually quite simple. And just from some things that came up in a few of the interviews, I want to say, don't try to, my suggestion is don't try to remember. It's fine. Like a few of you I noticed are making notes. That's totally good. And, whatever works for you, please do that. But you don't actually, while you're meditating, have to remember anything. Because my suggestion is you hear things, and then, yes, sometimes you'll want to remember the details, and you might find it's helpful. Oh, yeah, let me remember this. So but that'll come when it's needed. Mostly we hear it, we kind of let it go, and you'll see for yourself. Then you'll know what to do and what's needed in the spirit of keeping it simple. It's this idea of keeping it simple. Don't overthink it. About, wait, am I supposed to be with this or am I supposed to be with that? There literally is, it's not just that I'm kind of being a nice guy and, oh, I'm so open to everything. No, literally, we're not all over the place and anything goes. No, it's not anything goes. It seems that way. What we're just trying to support each person to find their way. And then it's not anything goes. You stick with that. And it's one specific way, and then let it lead you. It's not an anything goes. It's like, well, let's find your way. It's, again, because we're all different. It sounds like, we have to offer 50 people, 50 different things. That's the only reason it feels that way. So the last thing I'll say, and then we can go back into the silence, is if you do get confused, I mean, sometimes you want to check in and ask questions, that's fine. But in the moment, if you're confused, two things. One, there's no right or wrong way to be with your breath or to be with anything. Am I doing this right or thing? There's just literally no such thing. Just however way you bring to connect with what's happening in a relaxed way, that is it. And if you get confused with too many things going on and don't know what to do, just come back to your breathing or pick something else. That's all whatever you choose is it. Simple, simple, simple. So that's all I wanted to offer for this sit, and we'll go for the rest of the sitting back into silence. You may wish to just let these words be in the background and continue practicing as you have been. If you wish, for those who wish, I invite you to take a few moments to reflect back. Here we are. We've come to the end of some of you may continue practicing a little more for the rest of the evening or go off for rest, whatever serves you best. But we're coming to the end of our formal time of our first full day of practice together. And I want to offer that we all have used our time wisely together today. You could have done anything, but you chose to come here, stepping out of, whatever normal life is, and spend this time um, um, cultivating these good, wholesome, beautiful qualities in yourself. Um, we see how sometimes, practice it can feel wonderful and good. If that hasn't happened for you yet, it will have times like that. But we also see that it can be challenging and hard to stick with it. And so it really says a lot about each of our own good intentions and you could say our aspirations, uh, that you stuck with it. You're here. And through all the ups and downs, and you did the best you could today. And so anytime if we spend time like this, devoted to, I would say, to each of our own, how would you say, higher good, cultivating the good, it's of great fruit and benefit. We don't always see it in the short term. Sometimes you can, but I just want to point that out. And again, it goes back to connecting with intention and aspiration. You wouldn't be here if, all intentions, we're a mix, of course, but if you didn't share, I won't repeat, I've said them over and over about our good intentions. And I offer this to you as a reflection at the end. In the Buddhist world, in kind of, it's common that um, a lot of effort is put on, I won't go into the details, but the Four Noble Truths and, suffering and what's the cause of suffering and the ending of suffering. And, it can feel like, you Buddhists, you're just talking about just suffering, it's all suffering all the time channel, like that. And of course, we see that is foundationally important about what is the cause of suffering we generate for ourselves and for others. Um, how do we come to the end of that? What's the cause of the end? So that's important, but it's half of the picture. It's a fully half, but it's only half. And the other half is everything that's good and right in each of us. And that's not a traditional way of speaking, but I want to offer it to you. Um, and I think if we can connect in with our goodness, it doesn't take away from all the work we have to do to liberate ourselves from suffering. That hasn't been diminished. We're just adding, especially when times can be difficult. Having spent time, and for some of us, it's easier than for others. So it might not be so naturally easy to feel everything that's good and right. And I know that. I've spoken with a number of you, and I understand that it's, for some of us, that's just how it is, right? For us, easier than others. So if you're interested, and you'll have to see for yourself, you may want to hear, or in other times, taking time to connect with the goodness of your goodness. And as I've said before, a way I recommend, at least one of the ways, is to spend time to reflect on your intentions. And if you do, by the fact that you are here, I know that each one of us will have to connect with the fact that you really do want to live in a way that cares about yourself, cares about others. You do want to live in a way that has a positive effect for yourself, your community, the world. You don't want to create more suffering. You want to create more happiness and well-being. It's as simple as that. There's a lot of details you may want to reflect on how that looks, but I just know that that's true for everyone here. If not, and you want to come talk to me about it, I'm open, and that's up to you. But the reason that can be so helpful to be in touch with that is especially if we're having difficulties, it can be like a touchstone or a good like a foundation or like a refuge. Actually, it's not the traditional three refuges. It's a refuge to be able to touch back to what's good, to sort of bolster you and support you. And you'll still work with the challenges. It's not like you're going to pretend that they're not there, but connecting with your goodness and having not waiting until you're in the midst of the difficulties, but spent time. So you really do know, yeah, we know everything that's wrong. We got that. But, there's parts that are good too. And you can know that it can be a help. So that's kind of kind of the idea of why connecting with your goodness is so important. And plus, if we want to have an authentic, true, clear understanding of ourselves, it has to also include everything that's good and right in us. Right? And a lot of this is coming to know ourselves. And so we need this other half of the picture to come to know it too. That's the idea. And so that's enough kind of about the little sales pitch about it. But I hope either through this or on your own, if you're interested, I encourage you to take time on your own, talk to others, do it by yourself. You may do it every single day. Take a few moments and just recite, what are my highest, that's a way to think about it. What are my highest aspirations in life? We all have a lot of mundane. What's my highest aspiration? I'll just give you a quick example for myself. I have a real aspiration to live in a way where my heart never, ever closes off anyone, period. That's a real aspiration. Because I hold that in my consciousness, it supports me because, of course, I have lots of learning opportunities and I get to see where there's areas of growth still. So when a difficulty comes and the heart closes off, rather than just feel justified about it, I remember, oh, wait a minute, I've got this intention. It's a good intention. It's a pretty nice intention, I think. And I'm sincere about it. It's not an ego thing, but it's a good thing, right? Oh, wait a minute. That means I've got to open my heart to this person too. Oh, I don't want to do it. See, my intention supports me. So it can be like that kind of a thing to support us when we need it. So that's that. And then just a couple more things as we come to the end. As I'm speaking in this way, I actually am noticing that a lot of gratitude and appreciation is kind of coming up from being able to hang out with you and practice. I mean, that's kind of a nice thing to say, and I mean it as a nice thing, but I'm actually quite sincere about that. It was just arose about, wow, to be together, that's a special thing with sincere, like-minded people. You don't get to do that every day necessarily, a group like that. And we hung in and did the hard work and everything. You can check in for yourself, not only appreciation for yourself, that's important. If you found this group to be supportive today, you might consciously just take a few moments. If you want to look around, you can. You don't have to, but just to feel, if that's true for you, the support that the Sangha here has been, and perhaps there could be some appreciation and gratitude might come up. And you can check and see if that's true for you. You might have some difficulties with the group come up too. That's okay too. It can be a mix, but see if there can be some appreciation. You stayed here in a group, so you must be finding some value. If you do that, please don't forget that in the same way that others can be a support for you, you're that support for the others. And don't forget your presence, your way of being, your contribution. We talked about creating what did I say? Love bubble and the safety and sort of a non-judgmental, really kind, empathetic space, right? Hopefully we feel that. I hope that's what we intend this to be. Well, you are part of creating that for everyone else also. That's a nice thing. So hope some appreciation about that. And I say it not only for appreciation, but you can actually take that on consciously if you want through your time here and kind of walk around with the good feeling. Again, it's not an ego thing. It's a nice thing to have a good feeling of kindness there. So just a few reflections for the evening. Okay, so we're right up to the end here. I'll just offer a quick little closing reflection. Through the goodness of our sincere intentions, our sincere aspirations, it's through those intentions and aspirations that we are inspired and motivated towards good actions. And it's through those good actions that we manifest what the Buddha said, as I think I mentioned this on the opening night, about as he was close to death, he invited us, instructed us to become a light in the world. And what does that mean to be a light in the world? It's what we've been saying over and over. It's a force that contributes to ever more happiness and well-being, contributes to less and less suffering. So we're actually, through our actions, are contributing to doing our part to be a light in the world, really. That comes out of our intentions through our actions. Sometimes it's offered this idea of doing practice for our own benefit, but also for the benefit of others. And it's a nice concept. It's literally not possible to practice for yourself alone. The more you free your own heart and mind, it's going to affect everyone you interact with. So we cannot help but be practicing for the benefit of others, but we can make that more conscious. So to close, let us offer up really with our sincere hearts, the sincere wish, intention, like a blessing, if you will. May all beings everywhere. One more thing, sorry. It's like the sunshine or the rain. You know, the sun doesn't shine on just a few, but leave out others. It just shines equally on all. It's kind of a lovely idea. The rain falls equally on all. So we can be like the rain and the sun in that way with our kind hearts. It's like that. May all beings everywhere be happy. May all beings everywhere be at peace. And may all beings everywhere be free from suffering. So thank you all. I really appreciated being able to practice with you, hang out with you, share the day together. So it really, it's true. It supports my practice. So I hope we're all supporting each other's practice. Yeah. So I hope rest well or further practice as you choose.